The Ford River Rouge Complex is a Ford Motor Company automobile factory complex located in Dearborn, Michigan, along the Rouge River, upstream from its confluence with the Detroit River at Zug Island. Construction began in 1917, and when it was completed in 1928 it had become the largest integrated factory in the world. Structure: the Rouge measures 1.5 miles wide by 1 mile long, including 93 buildings with nearly 16 million square feet of factory floor space. With its own docks in the dredged Rouge River, 100 miles of interior railroad track, its own electricity plant, and integrated steel mill, the Titanic Rouge was able to turn raw materials into running vehicles within the single complex, a prime example of vertical integration production. Over 100,000 workers were employed there in the 1930s. Some of the Rouge buildings were designed by Albert Kahn. His Rouge glass plant was regarded at the time as an exemplary and humane factory building, with its ample natural light coming through windows in the ceiling. More recently, several buildings have been converted to green structures with a number of environmentally friendly features. In the summer of 1932, through Edsel Ford's support, Diego Rivera studied the facilities at the Rouge. These studies became a major part of his set of murals Detroit Industry, on continuous display at the Detroit Institute of Art since their completion in 1933. Production: the Rouge's first products were Eagle boats, World War I anti-submarine warfare boats produced in Building B. The original Building B, a 3-story structure, is part of the legendary Dearborn assembly plant, which started producing Model A's in the late 1920s and continued production through 2004. After the war, production turned to Fords and tractors. Although the Rouge's coke ovens and foundry produced nearly all the parts of the Model T, assembly of that vehicle remained at Highland Park. It was not until 1927 that automobile production began there, with the introduction of the Ford Model A. Later Rouge products included the 1932 Model B, the original Mercury, the Ford Thunderbird, and 4 decades of Ford Mustangs. The old assembly plant was idled with the construction and launch of a new assembly facility on the Miller Road side of the complex, currently producing Ford F-150 pickup trucks. On May 26, 1937, a group of workers attempting to organize a union at the Rouge were severely beaten, an event later called the Battle of the Overpass. Peter E. Martin's respect for labor led to Walter Reuther, a UAW leader, allowing Martin to be the only Ford manager to retrieve his papers or gain access to the plant. After the 1960s, Ford began to decentralize manufacturing, building many factories across the country. The Rouge, too, was downsized, with many units sold off to independent companies. By 1992, only Mustang production remained at the Dearborn assembly plant. In 1987 Ford planned to replace that car with a front-wheel drive Ford Probe, but public outcry quickly turned to surging sales. With the 4th-generation Mustang a success, the Rouge was saved as well. Ford decided to modernize its operations. A gas explosion on February 1, 1999, killed 6 employees and injured 24 more, resulting in the idling of the power plant. Michigan utility CMS Energy built a state-of-the-art power plant across Miller Road to replace the electricity and steam production, as well as the blast furnace waste gas consumption of the original power plant. As it ended production, Dearborn Assembly Plant was one of 6 plants within the Ford Rouge Center. The plant was open from 1918 to May 10, 2004, with a red convertible 2004 Ford Mustang GT being the last vehicle built at the historic site. Demolition of the historic DAP facility was completed in 2008. All that remains is a 3,000-place parking lot to hold light truck production from the new Dearborn assembly plant. Ford Rouge Center. Today, the Rouge site is home to Ford's Rouge Center. This industrial park includes 6 Ford factories on 600 acres of land, as well as steelmaking operations run by AK Steel, a U.S. steelmaker. The new Dearborn truck factory famously features a vegetation-covered roof and rainwater reclamation system designed by sustainability architect William McDonough. This facility is still Ford's largest factory and employs some 6,000 workers. Mustang production, however, has moved to the Flat Rock assembly plant in Flat Rock, Michigan. Tours of the factory were a long tradition. Tours of the facility began in 1924 and ran until 1980. They resumed in 2004 in cooperation with the Henry Ford Museum with multimedia presentations as well as viewing of the assembly floor. The management of Dearborn Truck has decreed that no vehicles from other manufacturers may park at the front of the main employee lot. Non-Ford family vehicles are required to park in the back 12 rows of parking spaces. Hourly workers from both Ford and Severstal facilities at the complex are represented by UAW Local 600. Ford's SS William Clay Ford was based out of the River Rouge plant. Renovated architecture. In 1999, architect William Macdonough entered into an agreement with Ford Motor Company to redesign its 85-year-old, 1,212-acre Rouge River facility. The roof of the 1.1 million square foot Dearborn truck assembly plant was covered with more than 10 acres of stem, a low-growing ground cover. The stem retains and cleanses rainwater and moderates the internal temperature of the building, saving energy. The roof is part of an $18 million rainwater treatment system designed to clean 20 billion U.S. gallons of rainwater annually, sparing Ford from a $50 million mechanical treatment facility. Products made: Ford F-150, Ford Mustang, Mercury Cougar. See also: Ford Piquette Avenue plant. References. External links: River Rouge factory tour, photos from the Rouge steel mill, big generator for auto plant adds to giant power. Popular Mechanics, September 1937, bottom left. PG 374, a film clip. The source of the Ford car Part 1 circa 1932 is available for free download at the Internet Archive. A film clip tour through the Rouge plant circa 1939 is available for free download at the Internet Archive. Historic American Engineering Record No. MI 325, Rouge Steel Company, 3001 Miller Road, Dearborn, Wayne, Michigan.